Greetings, Papua New Guinea. Over the weekend, I posted on my social media Facebook account that I will do a short video on Kphl Saga that is currently on foot, an issue which is very much talked about by many. Even our leaders have raised the same issue on the floor of Parliament. And we have also read many social media commentary by many Papua New Guineans for and against. But most of those commentary that you will read or hear about will be very much in accordance with who they align with as far as the saga is concerned. But for me in person, I have no personal affiliation with anybody for that matter, or I have no personal grudges against anybody for me to say what I'm going to be saying now. Well, Papua New Guinea, let me frankly tell you all that the much talked about Kphl Saga that you read about or you hear of is nothing but just a face value of the two powerful forces at play in the background politically by our politicians in preparations for 2027 elections. And this is exactly what's happening in the background. Well, some of us who are reading very carefully but watching helplessly could read in between that there are two powerful forces at play in the background in the process of trying to control the two most important and lucrative entity in our country, which is Kphl and MRDC, before going into elections come 2027. And this is the forces at play by our politicians. Well, Papua New Guinea, I'm not going to discuss with you in detail on this regard, or will discuss with you about the nitty-gritty of the forces at play. But I am only here to discuss with you about an issue that I see is bad. The issue that I see is not good for Papua New Guinea. The issue that I see will set bad precedents for Papua New Guinea going forward into the next 50 if we allow it to happen. And that issue that I'm going to be discussing with you is this. We must not allow Prime Minister, we must not allow any state ministers, we must not allow any member of the Parliament, we must not allow any public servants who are in a position of power and authority. We must not allow one individual or one ethnic group to abuse the office they occupy to enrich himself or herself or their cronies for that matter. We must not allow this. Papua New Guinea, this is the very issue that has been draining our country for the last 50 years. In next month, we will be celebrating Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary. And we must not allow this to happen going forward into the next 50 if we will want to see some changes going forward. Papua New Guinea, this is our country. This is our children's country and their children's country. We must not allow one individual, we must not allow one state minister, member of the Parliament or department head or anybody for that matter to abuse the office they occupy, to loot this country at an industrial scale for and on behalf of the children from our children. We must not allow this to happen. Papua New Guinea, let me begin the discussion by saying this. If a corruption or a stealing is being committed by someone that we do not know of, or we do not benefit directly or indirectly from, we find fit to come out on social media and say, this is corruption, this is stealing, he is corrupt, he is crook. We give names and run this individual down. That's very good. That's what we need to do, so that we will discourage this. But what that matters me and does not make any sense at all is when the same kind of corruption or stealing is being committed by someone that we directly or indirectly benefit from, we come out on a social media and we try to justify his wrong by right. How does that make sense at all? You're only contradicting yourself. There is no two thing about wrong and right. Some of us are caught in between. We find awkward to comment on such situations because we have a special relationship with the person of interest. Then just might as well shut up. Because the more you try to come and justify yourself when people know that it's wrong, you're only showcasing the stupidity side of you. Let me reference this to Kphl Saga. The Kphl Saga or the Wapusong Saga that we are now talking about is just a tip of an iceberg of what's happening by many of the department heads, by many of the members of the Parliament, state ministers, everybody. This is just a tight tip of back of what's happening. Today is Wapusong, tomorrow will be everybody else. Tomorrow will be everybody's. They're doing this. We're watching. We know it. But for the case of Wapusong, it was flagged by an Australian media, so it has become an issue. But otherwise, everybody is doing this. Let me deliberately say this. For Wapusong, he has yet to prove himself innocent in the court of law in Australia. But as is case, as evidenced by what is presented before us, if Wapusong's allegations has confirmed to be true, then what he has done is wrong. There is no two way about it. Even if he's a performing managing director, or if he built that company from nowhere to what it is now, that does not warranty him at all to abuse the office he occupied to enrich himself. Non-negotiable. No, he can't. He can't. Wapusong has yet to prove himself. Yesterday, just for the last time, yesterday he came out on media and then commented on it. But I don't know why Wapusong didn't comment that day it was raised or on an Australian media, or what that day when Prime Minister asked him to tender resignation on the NRL franchise board. You can't hide the obvious. Well, that's it. Let me ask Prime Minister. If Prime Minister was very genuine in this case, he would have asked Wapusong to step aside on both portfolios as director for NRL franchise board as well as the managing director for Kphl, because the alleged corruption has got nothing to do with NRL franchise board, but has got to do with Wapusong as managing director for Kphl. Prime Minister has never done that. Now Prime Minister is setting a bad precedent now, going forward. If Prime Minister does not allow Wapusong to step aside pending investigations, how would Prime Minister into the future would ask another managing director, another department head, another state SOE head to step aside pending investigations when such situations arise? How will he do that? Prime Minister, you are compromising yourself. Prime Minister, you are compromising yourself. You got to step the foot down and take serious measures on charge so that you restore some of the confidence that we already lost on you. This is very serious, Prime Minister. If you continue to do this, it's double standard, it's hypocrisy. You cannot allow that to happen. You are only encouraging more of this to happen. The moment you ask Wapusong to step aside, pending investigations, you will send a clear, strong signal to any other managing directors, any other department heads, trade ministers, so that they will know that the way it is now, you are allowing it to happen. You're setting precedents. Hello, you are setting precedents. By the way, you are very indecisive Prime Minister we have ever produced in this country. It is what it is. It's undeniable. This country needs someone to rule with iron fist. Prime Minister, as we're speaking now, no managing director, no CEO, no secretary, none of your ministers respect you for who you are because you are very indecisive. You are very good at managing politics and not governing the country. They know even if they commit something, you will not take serious measures on them. That's what they know you. They are dining and whining at your ignorance. This is what's happening. Prime Minister, you got to step up. You got to step up. You have been saying, you got to roll heads. Since when you have rolled one of the heads? Bullshit, Prime Minister. Maski quantumas. It's about time. It's about time telling them who you are. Many fans, like me, I've always been accusing you time and again. Why? Because the buck stops at you. You are the Prime Minister of this country. Even if it's committed by your secretary, even if it's committed by your state minister, even if it's committed by your members of the parliament or anybody for that matter, the buck stops at you and we will continue to blame you for that matter. Nobody. And it's about time you take serious measures for our country going forward into the future. Prime Minister, if you don't take measures on this, I don't know how else we will come out into the future and ask and take measures on charge into the future. You have already compromised yourself. Double standards. Hypocrisy, Prime Minister. You've got to do it right. You got to do it right. In my next video, I'm going to talk about hypocrisy and double standard. I'm going to talk about a Prime Minister's curse that he did And it's going to be in relationship with this one. So if I continue, it's going to be a long video. So maybe in the next 2 or 3 days, I will talk about the case that Prime Minister did and how it will affect himself, his family, his government ministers, his members of the parliament, Papua New Guinea. I will address in the next video. Until then, thank you, Papua New Guinea. This is our country. If I don't say this, who else will do? I know some of you will be hurt by this. But then who else will? We're going to set the precedence right. This is our country. Thank you, Papua New Guinea.